Hello YouTube, we are actually live here inside the Altoona Railroads Memorial Museum here in downtown Altoona. Hello everybody, I'm Engineer Pat, your host for today. And today we're going to be looking inside this museum, and we're also going to be going to the most famous Altoona Horseshoe Curve, baby. One of the best curves out here on the East Coast. So we're going to start off here with some of the rolling stock models that they have here. The M1A steam locomotive, the P70 passenger car, and the most famous GG1 electric. Pennsylvania was a big customer of them, and also Amtrak, and I believe Conrail. No, Conrail purchased the E33. So these are one of the big steam wheels. But of course, that's a model. And now we come on back. This is actually a call board. It's one of the early versions of the crew board of who was going to be in charge of a certain train. It was used as a master schedule to report to work. And the blocks had names of crew members who usually reported for work. And names were moved up on the list in rotation. So, and I'm sure this is the way a lot of the railroads still do it, is by this table. And now we come back here and we look at the responsibilities of a steam engine crew. It's a lot different than what it is today. We have an engineer. You also have a fireman. The fireman and engineer work side by side. When there was a fire on top of on the train, the fireman would be in charge of that. He would be he'd be in charge. And see, here we have a brakeman. His job is the most dangerous. He had to go down and brake each car to make the train slow down. And of course, you had the conductor. It was his train. It was the engineer who was driving it. Look at all this stuff. And of course, brotherhood. See, here we have, it's just making up a freight train. This is the way they used to be running trains to various tracks. As you can see, where they used to flip the switch by, this is actually a game. But here's the thing, this is what they used to do, is to flip the boards like this, and then they would actually flip the trains. And this is what they would do. And now a lot of this is all done by computer now with technology advancements. This is pretty neat stuff back here. Altoona is the most well-recognized railroad towns here in Pennsylvania. And it has a lot of railroad history here too. Here we have a steam valve to show how much pressure. We also have an old school oil can used to grease certain parts of the steam locomotives. And of course we have flags, lanterns. These were the old kerosene lanterns used back in the day. Come on back here. This is a knuckle coupler. Around 1900, federal law required installations of knuckle couplers like this one to replace the more dangerous link and pin type. You can see right here is where two of the ends of the coupler, they join together instead of having a man run the pin down there and holding the car. So this was a whole lot safer than having the pin, because that could result in accident. But these are much safer now. Technology has helped advance this. So the knuckle coupler has been a huge role in the American railroad and all railroads. Some more architecture tools, hammers, compasses, combination square, wrench, hammer. Go ahead and just do this room real quick. Look at that, an old school saw. This is old track equipment. This is how they would maintain the track before all the machines were developed. That is a surveying tool right there. And of course here you got a pitchfork, a pickmatic, a big wrench to bolt the rails together. Now all that is welded together. I'm guessing this is some sort of level or a measuring tool. These two pieces here, I'm not sure what they are, but if anybody knows, please leave me a comment in the description box and tell me what they are. And that must be a clamp to hold the rails together. And that looks like a little hole to dig the trench out. But really, really neat stuff. Really, really neat stuff. See, right down here is a dispatching tower with the green flag to give him a green signal. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video, and the next will be the next floor. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Hey YouTube, it's Engineer Pat coming to you on another level of the Pennsylvania Railroaders Memorial Museum. Here I believe is an HO scale model of some of these trains. As you can see, we have some old signals, an old whistle sign, and many others. As you can see here, some of the old Pennsylvania type signals. This all talks about how the trains talk to each other. See, look at there. Number one is when there's no train ahead of the block, what signals would appear? The stop sign, or two horizontal lines. The approach signal means when a train is ahead in the same block system, when you need to prevent a following train from entering the block. And the clear signal, two lights straight up and down, which means a train can safely pass the signal. That's pretty neat. Now, a lot of creativity here in this layout. Oh, I can start the trains too. Just chase them around. There he goes. That's an Alco PA freight train. I think we can chase them around the other side. I'll go ahead and move on back, and we'll do this here in just a minute. Go back over here to the trains. Oh, here he comes. I thought he went to the other side for a second. Alright, here he comes now. A couple of Alco PAs. I'll find the passenger train here and then I'll fire him up. And as you can see here, he's going to pass the signals. And a clear signal. He just went under the signals. I think he's going to just loop right around and then we'll see it. And here comes the passenger train I just fired up. And here they come. We're going to witness a meet here. I'm firing back up. It's about an F7, I think. Comes the meet right there. Whammo. And we'll go over there and look at the shops here in just a minute. Now if you'll follow me. Now here is the shops. As you can see, you've got a switcher here that's moving up and down with a hopper car. And many locomotives undergoing service. See, look at that. He's welding underneath that tender. Man, this is really something. This is really something. It's an HO scale model of Pennsylvania. It's incredible. And there goes the freight train, and the passenger train. You're going to get another meet here. Moving pretty good. Electrified lines. This is standard time, all the times that we're used to knowing. But look at this. This is really, really, really something. If you guys have not come to this museum, I really, 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 really encourage it. I know I've been concentrating a lot on this area because there's a lot of detail here. The mountain scenery. Look at that. Just an awesome amount of detail that have gone into this layout itself. But anyway, that is this part of the museum. What we'll do next is we will go on and find another room, and we will continue this coverage. Alright, I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. I'm Engineer Pat, and I'll see you in the next room. Hey YouTube, it's Engineer Pat again, coming to you in another section of the museum. Now you're looking in the cab of Pennsylvania 1361. It is the control stand of a typical Pennsylvania Railroad Class K4 steam locomotive, like the cockpit in today's modern aircraft. This was a cockpit case system that had to be built, maintained, and run properly. Look at this.
Fresh out all two of the shops. Overhaul. Ready to go. Water level's okay. My water class, gauge capsule moving just fine. Moving like cold on water and the generator. Tender's full up. 30,000 gallons water, 23 tons of coal.
Look at here, we have some artifacts like train toys. Off the record, this popular the Altoona freight wreck tells of a heroic engineer who died in the train wreck on 17th Street in Altoona. The cause of the actual wreck was determined to be a brake failure due to a faulty air pump. Ives toy trains. I thought I would never see one in real life, and I finally have, and that's incredible. Ives fell, I think, in the mid-30s, I think. If anybody can confirm that, let me know. But Ives failed. They fell. And that was a really sad day for toy trains. I think it was the late 20s, early 30s. And now, we have the most famous Lionel Lines Flying Yankee. They came in chrome and black, chrome and gray, and silver and red. Collecting model trains became an obsession for both young and old. more realistic and sophisticated stimulated this popular fascination. This is really, really something. An old Lionel catalog from 1933. That is incredible. We have a relief valve, a number board, and a bell from a K4 class steam locomotive, number 1361, as you see right there. A steam whistle. Eccentric rod, I don't know what that is. You have a water column and a sight gauge. All parts of the steam locomotive, a lot of different parts. This is really something. Here we have an old ticket booth. And right up here we look at the passenger side of trains. See, back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, a lot of people were traveling by train. And look, and even a lot of this stuff you can get on the train, like good food. You get to eat on the train, you get to sleep on the train. And a lot of that, really in the 60s and 70s, you stop seeing a lot of passenger trains because it was at a time where people were going by car and air and bus and forgot all about the trains. So, in the 1970s, railroads went to freight service. And then in 1971, Amtrak was founded and brought a lot of the traditions back. The American Express train, that's the most famous painting. Look at all these collectibles. Old police uniforms. Oh man, Conrail hard hat. Don't take chances. I miss Conrail so much. Love the police uniform. An old station clock. Railroads go to the fair. The Juniata Jubilee. Pennsylvania Flyer advertised a special excursion of the 1940s World Fair in New York. Wow. This is really something here. I know we went through this while we were watching the trains. Let's take a look at some of these models here. Here we have a meat packing plant, and they're putting all the meat inside the refrigerator to be shipped out to its customers. And see, there's the farm. And you send that stuff to market. The old school refrigerator cars. And here's the inside of a passenger station. People waiting to get on board. And see, here are some of the electric cars that Pennsylvania bought. I'm not sure what the model of them were. I think they were manufactured by Bud, I think. I'm not really sure, but you two take a look at them real good. I know Lionel made them, but if anybody knows what the model of this locomotive is, let me know. And see, here we have the coaling tower. As you can see, they've made some steam out of a cotton ball. And see, this is them loading the coal from the mine into the coal cars. Let's see here. We have this one for sand. Look at all this now. See, this is a pipe plant where they're manufacturing pipe. And they're putting them on the flat cars to be shipped out. Now here's something you really don't see every day. It's an old dispatching station, I think. Yeah, this is an old dispatching desk. And see here, they would flip the switch and talk to the trains, and they would control the switches through through a panel like this. Weston Electrical Instrument Company in Newark, New Jersey. Wow. And see here, this is where they would throw all the switches. This is the operating switchboard. And this was way before all the electronic advancements. This is really something. You don't see these anymore. This is really, really something. Now here, it talks about the most famous GG1. The most successful railroad electrification project in the Western Hemisphere replaced many Pennsylvania Railroad steam engines. For Altoona, the news was still good. Electric locomotives would be built here. So they built these in Altoona, I believe. Electrification in a big way with the opening of tunnels under the Hudson River in 1910. Soon the Pennsy began electrifying its routes for suburban and commuter services. By the 30s, routes in popular areas like New York, Washington, and Philadelphia, 2,739 miles of track represented the largest chunk, 40% of electrified lines here in the U.S. So the electrification project done by the Pennsylvania was a success, and a lot of that is on the Northeast Corridor now. This was the GG1, designed in 1934, was dubbed in the All-American Electric Locomotive. And even though diesels were being mass production everywhere else, Altoona was still constructing its GG1s. So these were Altoona built. That's local history right there. Inside Smith's shop and anywhere else at Altoona, they were assembled right there. And see, that's a General Electric kilovolts meter. That tells them how much electricity is going through. This is really, really incredible. This is a testing laboratory here. Let's see what's back here. Oh man, this is where they would test all the different stuff. You got an old school typewriter, a hard hat, an old ad machine. I mean, everything is up here. An old school sink with a soap dish in the middle of it. You don't see that like that anymore. This is something. Man, this is a laboratory. Wow. Anyway, YouTube, this is just a couple of the rooms up here on the 3rd floor, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty more down there on the 2nd floor. So I'm going to go ahead and move down there, and we'll go at it. So anyway, I will be right back.
It's a business, a very big business. And if by chance you're thinking of investing some of your own money in the Pennsylvania Railroad, then you'd better know something about how we make money for you or for the 250,000 other investors who are the real owners of this great railroad company. Running a railroad is a lot more important than talking about it. And since I don't have a lot of time, I hope you'll listen to me carefully. I'll be brief, and let's start with Altoona. Altoona people build and repair thousands of our locomotives, our freight cars, and passenger cars. They make all sorts of parts and materials. They work in the test labs, and they also run one of the busiest and most important divisions of our 26,000-mile Pennsy system. Yes, it's the biggest railroad in the country, and the job is to move freight and passengers throughout our system profitably, so that we're
Hey YouTube, it's Engineer Pat coming to you with the caboose here at the Railroads Memorial Museum. A lot of people ask, have railroads really changed? Well, to answer that question, railroads really haven't changed that much. Except there's one thing you don't see anymore, and that's one of these, a caboose. They really don't use these anymore because of technology advancements. We come on inside here. This was home away from home for crews for many years. They had a furnace to keep them warm in the wintertime. They also had boxes to store their equipment. They also had a little kitchenette to fix their meals, and also their own personal lockers to store their personal belongings in. See? And up here is where they sat. You see, this has got like a nice little cushion on where they could lie down. But this is where they would sit up and look out about where the train is. This is the tower on top where they could actually see from the back of the train all the way to the front. But this was home away from home for many years. And with the development of the train device, the cabooses were eliminated. But this is just a shot from inside the caboose. Go ahead and walk on down. Looks like we got a train coming somewhere. Let me see if I can go tracking down. Alright, thanks for watching. Alright YouTube, we are actually live here inside the roundhouse here at the Memorial Museum. And here's the first thing I find. An Altoona build Pennsylvania GG1, number 4913. Man, look at this beautiful piece. Altoona constructed. And here we have a little 4040 switcher. Go ahead and turn here. This is an active roundhouse. And here we see a couple of passenger cars here that are being currently restored. It's a Pennsylvania Pullman, part of a steam engine, and also this other Pullman as well. I believe this is a Pullman. It's one of the older ones. Look at the windows on the side of this car. These are one of the old-time passenger cars. I know the Pennsylvania passenger car is a Pullman. a Railway Express truck and some carts. And here is the Pullman for the Pennsylvania Railroad. As you can see, it's pretty worn down. And you can see they're in the middle of restoring it. On the Broadway Limited, here's the side of it. And here's a tender and part of the steam engine and various parts here. But anyway, I just thought I would do some quick coverage of this roundhouse while there was nobody here. And here's inside of the tender, and that's pretty neat to see. But many restoration projects taking place here. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this part. The next stop is Horseshoe Curve, and we'll see you guys at the curve.